If your car has a dual-clutch transmission, here's something most owners never get told. Every time you creep through traffic, inch through a parking garage, or sit at a roundabout, you're quietly wearing down the single most expensive component in that gearbox. It's not a defect, it's the trade-off baked into the entire design. Porsche, Audi, and BMW all built their own answer to the exact same engineering problem. One of them perfected it so thoroughly it's still the benchmark today. One of them fused it directly into all-wheel drive. And one of them built it, refined it for over a decade, and then quietly walked away from it completely. This is how dual-clutch transmissions actually work, gear by gear, and by the end, you'll understand exactly why one of Germany's biggest manufacturers decided this technology wasn't worth keeping. Here's the core idea every one of these gearboxes shares. A normal automatic uses a torque converter. Power passes through fluid, not a direct mechanical link, which costs you both efficiency and reaction time. A dual-clutch transmission skips that entirely. It behaves like two manual gearboxes stacked inside one housing, each with its own clutch on two shafts, one solid, one hollow, running concentrically inside each other. One shaft holds the odd gears. The other holds the even gears, plus reverse. While you're accelerating in third, the other gearbox has already silently selected fourth, fully engaged, just waiting. The shift is nothing but a handoff. One clutch opens, the other closes. No torque interruption, no gap. And that's exactly why the clutch wear problem exists in the first place. There's no fluid cushioning anything here. It's metal and friction material doing real mechanical work every single time you move the car. The same design that makes this gearbox brutally fast is the design that makes low-speed crawling its weak point. Subscribe before we go further because the next part is where these three companies start making completely different decisions with that same basic idea. Porsche didn't build this for comfort. They built it for a racetrack. The concept was tested through the early 1980s inside the 962 race car, and by 1986 it had carried Porsche to the World Sports Prototype Championship. It took until 2008 for the technology to become road-ready, debuting in the 911 Carrera and Carrera S. Porsche calls it PDK. Inside, the odd gears run on a solid inner shaft through clutch 1. The even gears and reverse run on a hollow outer shaft through clutch 2. Both clutch packs are wet, bathed in oil, letting them absorb far more heat than a dry clutch could. Porsche's own official figure for this is shifts in under 100 milliseconds. For comparison, a single blink of your eye takes around 300 milliseconds. Whatever the exact number is on any given gear change, it's fast enough that the gearbox has finished the shift before you finished registering you asked for one. That's the gearbox every other manufacturer in this video has been chasing for over a decade. One of them caught up to it. One of them walked away from the whole idea. Now to Audi. Same core mechanism, but pointed at a completely different problem, keeping all four wheels fed with power. In Audi's longitudinal cars, the A4, A5, Q5, A6, the system is called S-tronic, internally the DL501. Same two-clutch layout. The larger outer clutch drives the odd gears through a solid shaft, the smaller inner clutch drives the even gears, and reverse through a hollow shaft wrapped around it. Both run wet, on their own dedicated oil circuit, kept separate from the gear oil. A deliberate choice so neither fluid has to compromise. But here's the part that actually separates this from what Porsche built. The output of Audi's dual-clutch unit doesn't go straight to a set of wheels at all. It feeds directly into the center differential, which splits roughly 60% of that torque rearward and 40% forward. Stop and think about what that actually means. Every millisecond Audi saved in that clutch handoff isn't just making the car faster in a straight line. It's also feeding the front axle for grip before the power ever reaches a wheel. This gearbox isn't separate from quattro, it's the first stage of it. And in Audi's smaller transverse cars, the A1, the A3, the box shrinks again, and some versions swap to dry clutches entirely, since there's less torque to manage and a dry clutch needs no separate oil supply at all. That single change drops total weight to around 70 kilograms, which is exactly why a base model A3 with this gearbox can out-economize a manual version of the same car, something that would have been unthinkable a generation ago. Quick question before BMW. Comment below and tell me which of these three you'd actually want behind your own steering wheel. I want to see how split this comment section gets. Now here's the part of this story that genuinely surprised me when I started researching it. BMW built their own version, called M DCT, a 7-speed wet clutch unit exclusive to the M division, living inside the E92 and F80 generation M3, the F82 M4, and several others between 2008 and 2020. Same blueprint as everything you've just learned. Odd gears, even gears, preloaded handoffs. BMW deliberately tuned it to shift firm and deliberate, not soft, so you'd feel every gear land. And then BMW walked away from it completely. Every M3 and M4 built on the current generation no longer uses a dual-clutch gearbox at all. BMW replaced it with a torque converter automatic. The exact architecture this whole video started by explaining dual-clutch transmissions were built to beat. In a 2023 interview with Top Gear, BMW M's head of development, Dirk Hacker, put it plainly. The double clutch, from BMW M's point of view these days, it's gone. It's now manual or automatic, and automatic electrified for the future. Two reasons explain why. First, packaging. A dual-clutch transmission is essentially two complete gearboxes crammed into one housing, which makes it heavier and bulkier than it has any right to be. Second, and more interesting, modern torque converter automatics caught up. Through clutch-to-clutch lockup control, today's ZF 8-speed automatics can now pre-select nearly every gear at once, not just the next one in line. A dual-clutch gearbox can only ever prepare a single gear ahead, skip past it, and that head start disappears entirely. BMW concluded the gearbox they'd helped popularize was no longer the fastest answer to the question it was built to solve. So here's where this actually lands. Porsche took this idea and refined it until it became the benchmark the entire industry still gets measured against. Audi took the exact same mechanism and fused it directly into an all-wheel drive system, solving two problems with one gearbox. And BMW pioneered it, perfected it for over a decade, and had the discipline to abandon their own creation the second something else proved faster. That third one is the part nobody expects. Most companies defend the technology they invented. BMW killed theirs on purpose. If you want to see which gearbox actually wins when we put these systems through real acceleration numbers side by side, that's coming in a future video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Drop a like if this changed how you think about the gearbox in your own car, and let me know in the comments. Would you trust a dual-clutch gearbox in daily traffic, or does BMW's exit prove the torque converter quietly won this fight?